Okay, welcome to Sunday morning yoga church. Here we go. Today's practice is going to emphasize expanding and stretching and a little bit of strengthening through the chest. So many of us spend an enormous amount of our time throughout our days rounded at a computer, sitting in a chair, sitting at a desk, texting, typing, cursing probably too, but cursoring with the mouse and all that. So it's a tendency and a habit when we're rounded most of the day, when we want to stretch to, oh, I got to stretch my back. And that's fine. That feels good. But really what we need to be doing is, if you think about the habitual practice of rounding, that's really shrinking, shortening, and constricting the muscles along the front of your chest, right? Pectoralis muscles, anterior deltoid. What we want to do is we want to stretch the front of the chest and actually strengthen the upper back. Because when we're stuck like this, it's like sensory motor amnesia. You know, the muscles and the fascia, the connective tissues in the back just kind of get stuck there, and there's no more strength. They're just kind of like that, stuck. So we want to strengthen the back, and we're going to do several movements this morning that are like pulling movements, kind of like rowing movements, because that's not something that we typically do in asana class. There's a lot of pushing, pushing down, pushing up, but not much bringing back with like strength and power. So that's where we're headed. How I want you to begin is in a very modified supported fish pose. So if you've got two blocks, this is where they come in handy. You'll take one block, going long ways on your mat on its flattest side, on the broadest face. And then the second block will go one level up on its second height. And then we sit on the floor with our back to the blocks, come down onto your elbows so that you can adjust your seat and your distance. I want this flat block to be right at your upper back, at your shoulder blades. And then the second block is going to support your head. So super passive, right? And I know they're blocks, and blocks are hard and have edges. And this feels really great on a bolster or a cushion, or pillow. But we're going to stay here for about 3 minutes. You can keep your knees bent. You can let your knees drop inward and rest against one another. Or you can stretch your legs down onto your mat, your call. Let your arms rest out at your sides, palms up. And breathe. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhaling and exhaling. Separate your bottom teeth from your top teeth. Move your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Take another minute, minute and a half to empty before we begin. Okay. Start to move your fingers and your toes. If your legs are straight, pull your knees up one at a time and set your feet onto the mat. And the block that's under our back, being that it's on its lowest height, some of you might be comfortable just rolling to one side and coming up, rolling off the block. Or you can do what I typically do when I'm in this shape is hands behind the head. Draw the elbows forward and use the power of your arms to lift your head off of the head block. Then you can bring your hands down and push yourself all the way up, and you'll take a seat. If sitting cross-legged works for you, great. If not, maybe sit on your block. Come into a seat that is satisfactory for your bones and your joints. And then I'm going to have you inhale and reach your arms out to the side and up. And as you exhale, bring your left fingertips to the floor. Good, and side bend over to the left. Bring your right hand behind your head. And as you inhale, draw your elbow back a little bit more. Turn your head up slightly. And stay put. Turn your head back to center. Stretch your right arm over your right ear. And inhaling, pull yourself all the way up, both arms up. Bring your right fingertips to the floor and we'll side bend over to the right. Big stretch through your left ribs. You can bring your left hand behind your head and then pull your left elbow back just a fraction and then turn your head. It's a tiny little turn, glancing up towards the ceiling. Excellent. Straight, turn your head back to center and extend your left arm over your left ear and then breathing in, bring yourself all the way up. Good, and both arms down as you exhale. Hey, Caitlin, good to see you. We're seated right now. So what I'm going to have you do from here is if you're cross-legged, bend your knees and set your feet onto the floor. You're going to bring your hands behind your back, pointing your fingers away from your bum. I mean, it's up to you how close you want to walk your hands, but bring your pinkies towards one another. They don't have to touch, but just bring them towards one another. And then from here, the action is to draw your shoulders back, draw your elbows towards one another, lift your side ribs up, and then here's the clincher. I want you to bend your elbows slightly. So for many of us, what that means is you might need to take your tush forward towards your heels so that you can drop a little deeper into your elbows. And as you drop deeper, and I know it's kind of intense on the wrist, so come out anytime. But as you drop deeper into the elbows and you keep lifting your side ribs up, you get this nice stretch across the front of your chest. We're going to take 2 more breaths. Excellent. And then you can straighten your arms, come up onto your fingertips so that you can lift yourself all the way up and come onto your hands and your knees. I want you to set a block underneath each hand. If you've got 2 blocks, great. If not, ditch it. But a block under each hand. And let's do 3 rounds of cat-cow. Arching your back as you inhale, looking forward, and rounding your back as you exhale. Great, twice more. Inhaling. Exhaling. One more time, breathing in. And this time as you breathe out, drop back into child's pose. Pull your blocks a little closer to your knees. Keep them on their lowest height so that you can bring your elbows to your blocks. With your elbows to your blocks, bend your elbows and bring your fingertips together right above your head. And from here, I want you to press into your fingertips so much that you feel muscle activation all the way around your upper back, maybe around your shoulders, even in your upper arms. Excellent. Then relax. Keep your elbows bent, please. And you know how we do those scap presses usually when we're on our hands and knees? I'm going to ask you to do that here. And it's going to be a very, very small movement. But as you inhale, I want you to draw your shoulder blades towards your spine. And as you exhale, pull your shoulder blades away from your spine. So there's just a little bit of a dipping of your heart, of your sternum towards the floor as you pull your shoulder blades in and then exhale, rounding just your upper back. We'll do that 3 or 4 more times. Notice what's different in each shoulder. Does the right shoulder feel, exactly the same as the left? Is there any agitation in one area? Any impingement? Anywhere you might need to execute a little extra TLC in your practice this morning and as you go into your week ahead. Great. Beautiful. And at this point, I'm going to have you bring your hands to your blocks, lift yourself up, and then I'm going to have you take a seat on one of your blocks. So we're going to come into Virasana, right? So Virasana is typically shins on the floor, feet slightly apart, and butt down on the floor between your feet. But I want you to use a block, maybe on its second height or its lowest height, so your knees aren't completely, if your knees don't appreciate this depth of flexion, then go ahead into your cross-legged position once again. So left hand's going to be on your block, and the block is just beyond your left knee, just to the left of your left knee, not too far out in front. Bring your right hand behind your head. And then as you inhale, I want you to beam your sternum forward towards the top of your sticky mat. Take your right elbow back. And when you exhale, you're going to coil down and bring your right elbow towards your left arm. And then inhale, take your right elbow back. We're just going to go out to the side. We're not trying to twist to the right. And exhale, coil down, right elbow to your left arm. And 3 more times, please, for a total of 5. As you inhale, just turn your chest to the top of your mat. Exhale, and gently round to the left. Now, the key here is to keep your butt on the block or your tush on the floor the whole time. Great, twice more. All right. When you've completed 5 with your right arm behind your head, release your right hand to the floor. And you'll set your right hand to a block just to the side of your right knee. Left hand comes behind your head. Remember, the inhale is just looking straight ahead. We don't need to turn to the left. And then exhale, coil down. So there's a lot happening here. Not only are we getting lots of good juiciness through the thoracic spine and the thoracic rib basket, but also your right shoulder now is pumping. It's pumping upwards as you coil down, and it's pumping downwards as you face center. A lot of good stuff. 5 times. Good. And don't rush. When you've completed round 5, bring your left hand down and have you lift up off of your block. Take your blocks out to the top of your sticky mat and come all the way down to your belly. I want you to place this right hand block just in front of your right shoulder on its lowest side. We're going to come into this pectoralis stretch that we typically do with our arms straight. I'm going to have you bring your right arm out to the right. But today, I'm going to have you bend your right elbow so it's in a cactus shape. From here, you're going to reach your right arm up slightly. So your right elbow is it's ahead of your shoulder, but you're still going to keep the elbow bent. And then at this point, you'll roll yourself over onto your outer right hip. Let your head rest on your block. And keeping your right elbow straight, I'm going to have you draw your right shoulder blade deeper into your back. Pull it down your spine and hug it in towards your spine, or pull it down your back rather and hug it in towards your spine. Good. You roll your right shoulder away from your ear, away from your block. Nice. Return to your belly. Good. And slowly bring your right arm in. And situate your other block just in front of your left shoulder. Take your left arm out onto the floor, bent at the elbow like a cactus, and then slide your forearm up slightly so your elbow is beyond your shoulder. Keeping the elbow bent, roll yourself over onto your left hip, outer left hip. Great. Rest your head on your block. And now you can hug your left shoulder blade in towards your spine as you drag it down your back. Drag it down and hug it in. Return to your belly, please. Oh, and slide the blocks out of your way so that you can bring your forehead to the floor. And once more, put your arms into a cactus shape. As you inhale, I want you to lift forehead, chest, shoulders, and arms up off the floor. And exhale, come down. Inhale, press into your feet and lift up. Head, chest, arms, elbows up. And exhale down. Good. One more time. Inhale, lift up, head, chest. Let's stay here now. Lift your legs up. Good. Excellent. And slowly come down. Turn your head to the right. And turn your head to the left. And bring your forehead back to the mat. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift yourself up onto your hands and your knees, pausing long enough to bring your blocks onto the mat again underneath your hands. And then you'll rock back into puppy pose. This is where we keep the hips elevated above the knees, stretch the arms forward. It's like a really long downward dog. And you can bring your forehead down to the floor if the shoulders will give you that. All right, good. From here, let's come into downward facing dog. You can set your blocks off to the side. Take a moment in tabletop. And then when you're ready, you can tuck your toes, take a breath in, and on the exhalation, shoot your hips high, let your heels drop low. Coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. All right, from downward dog or from hands and knees, if that feels better for you and your body this morning, I want you to inhale and float your right leg up. And you'll step forward softly as you exhale, taking as many steps as you'd like. And you'll bring your left knee down. Get yourself set up into this low lunge, feeling stable through your lower body and lower limbs, and then sweep your arms up with your palms facing forward on the inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to bend your elbows and draw your shoulder blades towards your spine. As you breathe in, stretch your arms up. Exhaling, bend the elbows and draw your shoulder blades in towards your spine and down your back. Great. We're going to do that 3 more times for a total of 5. It's kind of like lat pulls, right? So I want you to resist the movement as you come down and initiate the movement with your back muscles, not just your elbows moving up and down. Just really pull down slow. Oh, yeah, good. And up. And then, yes, down. Good. 5 times. When you hit number 5, you're going to stay in cactus arms. Take your arms back slightly. If your neck is okay with this, you can take your head back a little bit and look up. Then bring your head back to neutral. Now listen, we're going to place our left hand onto the block. Keep your right hand in cactus. Give yourself a twist to the right. So you're looking over your right knee. Right arm remains in cactus shape. Now we're going to do the same kind of a lat pull action. Reach your right arm over your right ear. Imagine you're grabbing something and you're pulling it down and it's heavy and you got to pull it down, pull it down, pull it down, or it's got resistance. And then inhale, stretch your arm up. Exhale and pull down. Shoulder blade moving down your back and in towards your spine. 3 more times. Reaching up and bending the elbow. Reaching up. And using your back muscles to bring your arm down. Good. Reaching up. And squeeze. And reaching up. And squeeze. On your 5th one, you're going to stretch your right arm straight back and either stay here for 5 breaths or you can kick your left foot up, reach for it with your right hand, and stay here for 5 breaths. And you're welcome to let your left ear just drop over your left shoulder, which is what I'm going to do. That provides a nice stretch through the right side of my neck. If it feels good for you, go for it. If it doesn't, ditch it. Take your head back a little bit. All right, if you've got a hold of your foot, let her go. Everybody sweep your right arm forward. Woo! And then right hand comes to the floor. How about putting your right hand on a block? Now you can have both of your hands come up onto your fingertips on the block. Pick your back knee up. Let's get a good stretch through the hips and the front of the left hip joint, the hip flexor. All right, so from here, I'm going to have you step forward. So put a little more weight into your right foot and then spring up off of your left foot, step forward. Woo-wee! And slowly on an inhalation, come all the way up. Sweep your arms up with you. And then let's side bend to the left. Bring your left hand down. Reach your right arm over your right ear. Now bend your right elbow and pat yourself on the back. Well done, everyone. Keep your hand where it is and your right elbow bent, but lift your spine to vertical. And now you can bring your left hand into your lower back. Left hand will do the walking up towards your right fingertips. Whether they connect or not is irrelevant. You can just hang on to the back of your shirt, right? Like so. All right, so here's the fun part. Now we balance. Put your weight into your right leg. Keep your eyes focused on a still point in front of you. And then lift your left knee to 90 degrees. Be mindful you don't sink into your right hip. Draw your outer right hip inwards towards the midline. Good, we're going to take 2 more breaths in this balancing pose. All right, and then we're going to float the left foot way back to the back of the mat so you're in a high lunge. Woo! Spin your back heel down. And now we're going to come into a version of exalted warrior with the arms still in Gomukhasana. Left elbow hugging into the left hip. Right elbow up. Good. Now release your arms. Take your left hand to your left thigh. Right arm up. Reach up, reach back. And then right elbow to your right knee. Excellent. Sweep your left arm forward. And then you're going to float your left arm back. Just keep it parallel to the floor, just slicing through the atmosphere. Sweep it forward. And then sweep it back. Great. 3 more times. Sweep it forward. And keeping your palm down, just slice it through the air. Sweep it back. Good. And forward. Try to keep your chest still. Let this action be just through the shoulder. And forward, last one. Sweep your left arm back and keep it there. Reach it back, reach it back, reach it back behind you. And then if you feel so inclined, bend your left elbow and bring your left forearm behind your back. Almost like a half bind. Drop your right ear over your right shoulder. Left shoulder rolls back, 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 back. All right, release your left arm, sweep it over your head one more time. And then both hands to the sticky mat. Woo-wee! Come up onto the ball of your back foot. And here we go, downward facing dog. Tabletop is legal. Child's pose is legal. 3 deep breaths in this detour. So pausing, this little rest stop. All right. Now we get to do the other side. Lots going on in this sequence, but well done. Stay with it. Here we go. Left leg floats up as you breathe in. Gently sweep it forward, gracefully setting your left foot onto the sticky mat. Good. Come down onto your right knee. All right, here we go. Arms up, palms facing forward. And then exhale like a lat pull. Pull down through your shoulder blades. And then inhale, reach up. And exhale with some resistance. Pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down, pull down. Good. 3 more times. Inhale. And pull down. Shoulder blades gliding down the back and hugging in towards the spine. Twice more. Resist, resist, resist. Like you're moving through a jar of freshly ground organic almond butter. One more time. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Great. And then Shoulders back, elbows back. If it works for your neck, take your head back slightly and look up. You don't need to do a Pez head, just a little glance up. Yep, good. Shoulder blades hugging in, drawing down. Excellent. And then come back up to vertical. Bring your right hand to the block. Keep your left arm in a cactus shape and spin your trunk to the left. And here we go for these one arm lat pull actions. Inhale, so take your left arm up, and then exhale, starting the movement in your shoulder blade, in your shoulder girdle, pull down. 4 more times. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, pull down slowly with control and resistance. Good. Breathing in and hug down. But last 2 times. One more time. Great. Now you'll sweep your left arm straight back, straight back, straight back, straight back. And either keep your left arm floating back like a flag, or bend your right knee deeper, kick your right heel up, and perhaps catch your foot, your ankle, a pant leg. Good. And roll your left shoulder back wherever you are with this, and drop your right ear over your right shoulder. Oh, delightful stretch through the left side of the neck. All right, release your foot if you have it. Sweep your left arm forward, and then look down to your mat as you bring both hands to the floor. Sit your hands on blocks. That's my choice anyway, but you do what you like. And then come up onto your fingertips and lift your right knee up off the mat, and let's pause in this lunge, runner's lunge, for a few breaths. Reach back through your inner right heel, lengthening the inseam of your right leg. And then imagine there's a little helium balloon under your right hip. Lift your right hip slightly so you're not sinking or rolling into the outer right hip. All right, now put a little more of your weight into your left foot, left leg, get light on your right toes, and then spring up onto your left leg and step your right foot down. Okay, here we go. Inhale, come all the way up. Sweep your arms out and up. We're gonna side bend to the right as you exhale. Right arm down, left arm reaching over left ear. Bend your left elbow, pat yourself on the back, because you deserve it. And then lift yourself up to vertical. Keep your left arm where it is, but you're going to bring your right arm behind your back, bending the elbow. Let your right hand do the walking. Ooh. And maybe just grab a hold of the back of your shirt, your t-shirt. All right, here we go, balancing. Put your weight into your left leg, strong and steady in that limb. And then eyes focused softly on a point in front of you that's not moving. Pick your right knee up, keeping your right knee at 90 degrees, your right hip at 90 degrees. Very nice, everyone. Now you're going to float your right leg back. Take it way back, way back, way back. And then plant your right foot to the floor. Spin your heel down. Give yourself a turn through your chest to the right. And then coming into this version of Exalted Warrior with your arms in Gomukhasana. So you're kind of digging your right elbow near or into your right gluteals. Left elbows reaching up to the ceiling. Maybe a little more flexion in your left hip if it's available to you. No pressure, no force. Head back. And now release your arms. Take your right hand to your right leg, left arm up. Maybe you can go back a little more. And here we go into Parsva Konasana. Left elbow to your left knee. And we'll sweep the right arm over the right ear, palm down, and then keeping the right arm parallel to the floor, sweep your right arm back. Kind of slicing through, reaching forward, and slicing back. 3 more times. On the last one, you'll keep your right arm back and either stay there or bend your right elbow, bring your hand behind your back. Some of you might take your right hand to the top of the left thigh. You don't totally need to go into a bind unless that's part of your practice, but roll your right shoulder back and then let your left ear rest over your left shoulder. Toggle your mandible, your lower jaw back and forth a couple times, please. Release your right arm. Woo, it's a burner. Take your right arm forward over your head and then both hands to your blocks. Woo-wee. Now I'm going to choose to keep my hands on the blocks. We're going to move back into downward dog because I feel like the blocks provide more space in my shoulder girdle. And that's going to feel good after all that work. But again, if you don't have 2 blocks available, just take your hands to the floor. And here we go, downward dog. And of course, remember, tabletop is available. Child's pose is available. Gently shake your head no. And softly nod your head yes. If your hands are on blocks, I'm going to have you bring your hands to the floor and walk your hands towards your feet. Bring your hands to your waists. Draw your elbows towards one another. And then slowly rise all the way up with a strong, straight back. Woo. Arms down. Well, that was great. That was just the warm-up. Holy cow. Okay, what I'm going to have you do now is take a big step forward on your mat and turn to one side so you can come into Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward bend, and have a block on either side of your mat behind your ankles. All right, for starters, breathing in, take your arms up. As you exhale, you're going to bend your elbows like a cactus and come halfway down. Good, stay here for the inhale and hug your shoulder blades towards your spine. And when you exhale, bring your forearms together, just below your head. And then inhale, draw your shoulder blades towards one another and let that action float your arms up. And exhale, bring your forearms, elbows, and palms together. Good, 2 more times, just a total of 4. Nice, bring your hands to your waist and lift yourself up. I'm gonna have you spin your right toes to the right. Good. Pull your left toes in slightly for triangle pose. Breathing in, sweep your right arm up. Get as much space as you can from your right fingertips to your right toenails. And then as you exhale, reach your right arm and right ribs over your right leg. settle your hand to the block that's just beyond your right ankle and take your left arm up. Excellent. Pull through your left arm and rise up to standing. Turn your toes in. And this time, we're going to hinge forward, but I want you to grab a block. So as you come halfway down, take the block that was behind your right foot and bring that with you. And come halfway down in this wide-legged forward bend. And now I'm going to have you bring the block behind your head. At this point, elbows are bent, just your fingertips are resting at the edge of the block to hold it to your head. I want you to dip forward, coming into a deeper forward bend as you exhale. And then inhale, push your head into the block and just come halfway up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, pushing your head into the block, come halfway up. 2 more times for a total of 4. Bowing forward on the exhale. Lifting up with a straight, strong back. If this is exacerbating any lower back discomfort at all, I'm going to ask you to skip it. Last time. Remove the block from your head. Bring your hands to your waist and come all the way up, where you'll spin your left toes forward and turn your right toes in slightly. Left arm comes up, preparing for Trikonasana, triangle pose. And then reach, 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 reach. Left arm over left leg, get long through that side waist. Find your block underneath your left hand, and then right arm can float up. Personally, in triangle pose, I like to look down at my left toes. You know, a lot of it's tradition or classic to look up to your right hand. I think it's, for me, it's a little straining. I like to take it easy, look down. Excellent. Pull yourself up through your right arm. Square your feet. Bring your hands to your waist. Good. Now you'll turn your left toes forward and we're going to step right foot up next to left. Woo! Utkatasana, 5 breaths. Just to hug everything in. Hug your thighs in, knees in, feet and ankles in towards the midline. Breathing in, breathing out. Have your arms out in front, elbows bent, palms and elbows together, if that's available, or just keep the arms out front like you're carrying a stack of wood. Not concerned with how low we go, but rather than just hugging the energy to the midline. 1 more breath. And then fingertips to the floor and have a seat on your bum. Woo-wee! High five, everyone. Great. Good stuff. Okay. Seated twist. Gonna have you, let's bend the right knee up, set the right foot to the floor, and your left knee down. Bring your left heel towards your bum. And then I'm gonna encourage you just to keep your right foot to the inside of your left shin instead of crossing over. Bring a block behind your back for your right hand. And then let's inhale and take our left arm up, but stay rooted through both sitting bones. And then as you exhale, begin to turn to the right, hugging your right knee in the crook of your left elbow. Now, something that I like to do here, I mean, I know we can take the elbow to the outside of the knee, but what I like to do is continue this hugging of the knee with my elbow. With my left hand, I'll take a hold of the material of my pants or my shirt and grip onto that. And I find that gives me some leverage, to turn even more. right arm straight, and then turn your head and look over your left shoulder. Terrific. Relax your grip. Gently unwind as you inhale. And give yourself a twist just for a beat to the left. Ooh. Nice little complimentary chiropractic adjustment there. Pull your left knee up, foot to the floor, bring your right knee down. And again, I'm going to encourage you to keep your left foot to the inside of your right knee. Got the block behind you. Bring your left hand to the block. And let's take the right arm up. Get as tall as you possibly can through your spine. Lifting your sternum up away from your navel. And then turning to the left, exhale. Wrap your right elbow, the inner right elbow around your left knee. And then get a grip. Get a grip on your pant leg, your shirt, and let that serve as you pull on that material. Let that serve to twist, twist, twist you more so to the left. And then look over your right shoulder. And when you're ready, breathing in, unwind, turn to the right. Fantastic. Great. Pull your right knee up. Come down onto your back. I want you to lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet to the floor. Bring your arms out like a cactus. I mean, you're probably sick of this shape right now. Your shoulders are going to love this in the morning. So with your arms out like a cactus, I'm going to have you press firmly into the backs of your hands and your elbows and lift your chest up. Your head stays down, so your chest isn't going to come up very high. And then set your upper back onto the mat again. Press into the floor. Lift your upper back and your chest up, and then settle into the floor again. Head stays down, butt stays down. You're just peeling your shoulders, your shoulder blades up off the mat, and then settle down. And this is great. Let's go 2 more times. Press down through your elbows, forearms rather, and hands. Lift up and down. 1 more time, lift up, butt down, head down, just your upper back is coming up. Let's stay here for another beat. Good, and come down. Woo! Bring your arms down to your sides. Palms up. We're going to make our way into bridge pose, Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, supported bridge. So see that your feet, or get a sense that your feet are about sitting bone distance apart, and that your feet are parallel with one another. And then as you're ready on an inhalation, you'll glide your tailbone forward and up, lifting your sacrum, low back, low ribs up. Bring your hands together underneath your back, clasp your fingers together, and gently, rocking very gently from side to side, nestle your right shoulder blade in a little closer to your spine, and then your left shoulder blade in a little closer to your spine. Then press down firmly, like you mean it, through your straight arms, and lift your hips Sternum up a little higher. Watch that your knees don't splay outward. Yes, good adjustment, Kathy. That was great. Very in tune. Now change the interlace of your fingers if you would, please. And one more time, just a little gentle rock of the shoulder blades, nestle in, and then up you go. Find the four corners of your feet and press down to lift up. Anchoring into your feet, your arms, your shoulders, and the back of your head. Good. Last breath. Release your hands. Let your shoulders drape away from your spine and slowly bring your spine down to the floor, one vertebrae at a time, where you can drop your knees onto one another, take your feet wide, as though you were spreading out your sacrum. Great. I want you to keep your feet to the floor with your knees bent. And we're just going to rock the shoulders. A lot of times we do this with the shoulders and the knees, but take your arms up and cross your forearms in front of your chest. Opposite hands to opposite elbows. And I'm just going to have you glide your arms over to the left. You can follow your elbows with your eyes. Turn your head to the left. Then glide up through center and glide your elbows over to the right. You just keep your knees static. You can really just emphasize bringing the shoulders back down, like a gentle rocking. Take them back to the left. Gentle rocking and soothing motion just for the shoulders. And over to the right. Good. When you come back up through center, change the cross of your forearms and go over to the left again, and let's stay here for a couple of breaths. And bring your forearms over to the right, elbows to the right. And stay put for a couple of breaths. Come back up to center, please. And bring your arms down, and it's time for Shavasana. So we're going to take a little bit of an early Shavasana. And then we'll come up for some breathing. And we have a new mantra we're working on. So taking the shape that's groovy for you. It can be legs up the wall, or take your legs over an ottoman, just down on your back. We'll take a full 7-minute in Shavasana. Mm. Take a deeper breath. And begin to circulate that prana down through your fingers and into your toes, moving. And pull it up into your hands and your feet, into your arms and your legs. And then begin to shift yourself from your Shavasana shape and roll to your favorite side so that you can lift yourself up. And find a seat that works for you this morning, whether that's on the floor or up onto a chair or a block or a cushion. Great practice today. So I know it feels intuitive to want to round through the upper back to release tension, but strengthening those muscles in the upper back and strengthening the muscles around the shoulder joint in general can help to restore range of motion and release tension between your shoulder blades and promote terrifically good health through your shoulder girdles. So it was great work today. Let's do 2 rounds of Kapalabhati. So finding your seat, we'll do 2 rounds of 25. And that's the inhale through the nose and then that pumping of the exhalation, emphasizing the out breath from the nose 25 times. And we'll start by exhaling whatever you have on board. And then let's take a full breath in. We'll exhale completely from the nose, setting the stage. And then here we go, breathing in and begin. Exhale whatever's remaining. Take a deep breath in. Exhale completely. And then we'll go for round 2, breathing in and begin. Exhale whatever's on board. We'll take a deep breath in and exhale. Another rich breath in. Stay grounded through your sitting bones. And exhale, particularly if you became rather lightheaded. One more time, a deep breath in. And exhale. And let's pause for a couple of 2 minutes of Samavriti pranayama, breathing in for 4, breathing out for 4. Using whatever speed of count works for you. Just bringing everything back to right size, balance, harmony, and equilibrium, equanimity after the stimulating effects of the Kapalabhati. It feels natural for you to lengthen the exhalation by a beat or 2 or 3, of course, go for it. About 30 more seconds. Slowly open your eyes. So here we go with our new mantra. I sent a link out in the class email last week, but I know not everybody was in class last week. So I'll send it again just to give you like a fuller description and what it looks like in Sanskrit and a fuller definition of the meaning behind this mantra, Kayena Vacha. It's an offering of everything that we do, all of our actions with our body, with the way we talk, the words, with our mind, our thought patterns, all of our sense organs, everything that we do through our sense organs, and everything that we do with our mind, with our brain, our intellect, our knowledge, our wisdom and education, where we put that to use, everything we do with our inherent nature, right? Your prakriti, your mind-body constitution, everything that we do is done. The intention in this mantra is that everything that we do is done with a level of surrender and submission to God, to Narayana, which is another name for God, but also to something much bigger than our own selfish desires, just something bigger than ourselves. Everything that we do, say, think, is done with a sense of service, a sense of humble servitude towards the betterment of someone else's life, another being's life, whether that's a four-legged or an eight-legged or whatever, a fish, everything that we do. So that's the intention and the meaning behind this. And the words are Kayena Vacha Manasendri Va. That's a big one there. Manasendri Va. Buddhyatmana Va. Prakrite Svabhavat. So let's just do that. And I'll give you a little bit of the tune, and you're muted. So, you don't have to sing along if you don't want, but I'll sing the first couple of words and then you can repeat them. Kayena Vacha, Kayena Vacha, Manasendriyerva, Manasendriyerva, Buddhyatmanava, Buddhyatmanava, Prakrite Svabhavat, Prakrite Svabhavat. Fabulous. The rest of it is Karomi Adiyat Sakalam Parasmayi Narayanayeti Samarpayami. And we'll hit that next week. But now you have the first two lines. Kayena Vacha, Kayena Vacha, Manasendriyerva, Manasendriyerva, Buddhyatmanava, Buddhyatmanava, Prakrite Svabhavat, Prakrite Svabhavat. Right on. Great work, everybody. So that's our new, very old, but new to us mantra that we're going to be learning over the next couple of weeks. So, yay, awesome work. Here's to supple shoulders and range of motion and a strong back for a soft and open heart. Bring your arms up, please, breathing in, two palms together. Bring the base of your thumbs to your forehead. Strong and soft in our minds. Bring your fingertips to your lips. May we be strong and soft in our words. And bring your hands to your heart. And may we be strong and soft in our heart. Thank you so much for joining me and all the others that are on the screen and those that are going to watch later. Thanks for rocking your practice today.